again, and welcome to our second edition of the area high school basketball podcast. Got JJ to my left, at least to the left on my screen. I'm Jeff Linder. We'll get right to it. It's Wednesday between yesterday's Tuesday games and the upcoming Friday games. I think we're going to have better weather this Friday. But JJ, you had Iowa City West and Prairie. West won that one in a nail biter, right?
Yeah, just kind of fits the pattern of the Valley. And last night, everybody beating everybody else. So 49-47 final, and West won. And West had lost its previous two games by double digits to, Dubuque Hempstead and Cedar Falls, which is playing really well right now. And, Prairie came in 9-1 and ranked fourth. And it was ironic, or not really ironic. It was just different, Jeff, because, Iowa City West is known for its, intense man-to-man defense. And, Prairie was up 7 at halftime, and West comes out playing a 2-3 zone, which you never, ever see. And it just changed the game. Prairie's offense really became, stagnant, lost its rhythm, and Hawks couldn't make shots. They had one field goal in the third quarter and 4 points. And, West put up 17 and was all of a sudden ahead and, built the lead to 9 and ended up, surviving a last-second 3-point attempt by Prairie to win by 2. So, like I said, just kind of fits the pattern of the Valley. And you look at, up and down the line. Again, last night, a lot of different there's no, like we said last week, no great teams. No really poor teams. You never know what you're going to get on any particular night. And that's great for guys like us, right? But probably not great for the coaches. So how about you? What did you see?
How does that impact the MVC standings? We got, maybe 4 weeks to go for the boys. Yeah. How do both the divisions look as of right now?
Kennedy's still on top over in I get my names mixed up. I just look at them by division. Yeah. Or just Kennedy's undefeated over in the Valley Division, has a 2-game lead on West now, and I guess Xavier has a couple losses. Lost to Cedar Falls last night. Jefferson's got a couple losses, so it's looking good for Kennedy right now over in the Mississippi Division. Just a jumbled mess. I mean, Cedar Falls has 1 loss. Prairie's now got 2 in the division. Wallert's got 2 in the division. Linn-Mar's got 2 in the division. Washington's got 2 in the division. Iowa City Liberty's got 2 in the division. So it's just, jumbled mess, like I said, and a little bit different on the girls' side. Is that right?
Yeah. Iowa City High's going to run away with the Mississippi Division, and it's going to probably come down to Barlow West and Iowa City West in the Valley. So that's kind of how we're sitting right now. It's not nearly as balanced as the boys is. There's kind of a hierarchy there, but kind of a little bit of haves and have-nots and everybody in between. So kind of an upset the other night. Cedar Rapids Jefferson beat Cedar Rapids Kennedy, broke about a 9-game losing streak, and then they won again last night. So Jefferson's won a couple in a row. I think they're 4-9 now, which is good to see them getting a couple wins there. But last night I was down at Solon, covered Marion and Solon in a Wamac East battle. And I guess I should say doubleheader because I slapped a couple graphs on the boys' game too. But girls' game, Marion was pretty much in control there, just obliterating Solon on the boards in the first half, I think by a 23-9 count or something like that, which you don't see very often. Had a nice lead, but Solon came out, scored the first 10 points in the second half, and forced a lot of turnovers and came back and won the game 53-42.
Apologize for that sneeze there.
That's all right.
So Marion is playing pretty good basketball right now, Jeff, girls?
Marion, yeah. The Wamac girls are kind of like the MVC boys. There's not a runaway team, a lot of good teams. Marion and Solon are definitely 2 of those. Marion's got a 1-game lead in the East Division on Solon, and the West. it's a mess. I think there are 4 teams with 2 divisional losses and 1 with 3. So Wamac West, let's see, Clear Creek Manna 5-2, CPU 4-2, Benton 4-2, Vinton 4-2, and Williamsburg 4-3 in the West Division. So that's kind of how we're sitting as we start to head down the stretch here a little bit.
Yeah, I was going to say, was just double checking. The boys will have the pods released in 1A and 2A on Friday, and then the 2 bigger classes the following Friday, and then they'll figure out dates to do the whole seating thing with the coaches. So I got to think the girls will be coming out here imminently, right?
I would think probably in the next week or 2, maybe next Thursday or Friday would probably be my guess, or it might be sooner. I'm not sure. So that's something I need to check on.
But like we always say, Jeff, it's so different the way things are put together, because this is the union's deal. The association kind of has a hands-off approach, other than assigning teams into districts and substates and things like that, and then they wash their hands of it and just say, "Oh, coaches, it's you." So I know we've talked about this, but I mean, do you prefer one or the other, or is it okay to be unique this way, both boys and girls, uniformity?
Both do it. I guess if you're going to be the governing body of something, I guess you probably should govern and come out with your own pairings. But if they trust the coaches to do it with the association, that's fine.
I was out at Alburnett actually the other night, Monday night. I can't even tell you what today is. Was able to see Northland, Northland and Alburnett. That was the first time I've seen Northland and this season, and we all know their deal. 5 starters back, 4 straight state championship games, yada yada yada. Had the losing or the winning streak snapped, 107 games in the regular season. Hadn't lost to a conference opponent in the regular season since 14. Edco put a stop to that right before Christmas, so looked really good. Northland,
they're starting to come, aren't they?
Yeah, really took apart a really good Alburnett team that has an 9-4 record now after winning last night. So, you kind of wondered how they would react to actually losing a game, and so far it appears to be pretty good. And Northland girls too, right?
Yeah, 14 and 1 right now, and blistering people pretty good. They lost their rivalry Saturday game by a point against Denver, which is ranked, I think, number 2 in 2A. So that certainly wasn't a bad loss. They beat Springville a week or 2 back pretty comfortably, double-digit points, I think. So they'll play again here coming up pretty soon. But I think they're definitely probably headed toward their 20-win season. I think that'll be 12 or 13 in a row. So that's just crazy.
Yeah, it really is. And Brian Wheatley's done a great job there. No question. And it's got to be fun for him, because thankfully the Tri-Rivers get the girl boy double headers every week, so he's able to obviously coach his girls team and then hang around and watch his son play for the boys.
Right.
For the boys. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it'll be the other way around for Hilmer here in a few years. I think that there's a ways to go before that happens, but I'm sure that'll be the case with as well.
Yeah, little Jory is 5 years old, so it's going to be a little bit. So, but she's running around the gym, with boundless energy the other night. So I have no doubt she'll follow her brother's footsteps, and
I'm sure she'll be a point guard.
Yes, 100%. 100%. What else you want to talk about? Any of the other conferences, Jeff?
Well, we touched on this a little bit last week. Saw a really good, didn't see it, but I saw the ending online of Jessup girls. I think they won 9 in a row. They're 12-2 now. Beat Sumner Fredericksburg. on a last second 3-pointer by Amanda Treptow in overtime the other night. They're in that new reconfigured NICL East Division there, and seem to be well on their way to winning that. So I saw that. Lauren Wilson from Springville, she put up, what do they call that? A 50 burger? Is that what the kids call it these days? She scored 50 against Central City on Monday, and then the following last night, she became Springville's all-time leading scorer for girls basketball, which is a pretty good accomplishment with the kids that they've had for the last 12 to 15 years. They had the really good class team that got to the finals, won a state title in 08 and got second in 09, and then they had the Menster and the Hosel years not too long ago, and now they got the Wilson and the Hosel years. Kind of their Springville 3.0, I guess, if you want to call it. But to be at the top of the heap of the girls they've had there the last 15 years is saying so.
And the boys have had a nice run too. And many of the same names, brothers and sisters doing their thing. So they beat Edco last night, as a matter of fact. So real nice win for Springville. And they've had two guys go over 1,000-point mark for their careers this season. Rendon Wagaman and Luke Menster. So that's quite an accomplishment. And I got one for you here, Lindy. You're gonna love this as an old school basketball guy like I am. Ben DeMolinaire of Belle Plaine went over 1,000 points for his career last week.
Okay.
All of his career points, none of them have been from the 3-point line. None, not one. And as a matter of fact, according to his coach, Justin Northrup, he has never taken a shot in his 4-year career from outside the lane, outside the paint.
Has to be a fella on that team that's got a lot of assists.
Yes. And I mean, he's probably like 6'4", so he's not like he's not a towering presence inside. But Coach Northrup just kind of told him when he came into the program, he goes, your strength is on the interior, and that's kind of where I want you to shoot. And he's kind of taking that to the extreme. So
that's okay.
Yes, 100%. That is earning your 1,000 points, not getting any outside the line. So
it's the free throw line quite a bit.
Yeah, a little bit, quite a little bit there. So he probably makes up for some of those, the lack of 3-pointers with the free throws, but refreshing. And
how's Belle Plaine doing this year?
Belle Plaine, I just was looking at the Sickle standings here. Has a nice, that's a good program. Won last night, so 9-5 overall. Iowa Valley actually has the lead in the South Iowa Cedar East there, and then South Iowa Cedar West North Mahaska has a game lead on Montezuma, and looks like we talked a little bit back to the Sickle. English Valleys has been a nice story. Had the first winning record they've had in. I can't even remember what it was, 40 years, maybe something like that last year. And they're looking to follow it up for I think the first time in school history with back-to-back winning seasons. And they're like 8-5, I think, right around in there. And Caden Hall is a kid that just went over 1,000 points for his career. So seems like we're getting a lot of those. I mean, is that, you don't want to say it's not special, but is it more commonplace, do you think, Jeff, 1,000 points for a career than it used to be?
Well, for one thing, teams are playing more regular season games than they used to. They're playing 21 now. When we were in school, they played 18 or 19. And I think with the fact that there are lower numbers, I think it's easier for a kid to come in as a freshman and contribute right away and get some points early in his career. You kind of see it the same way?
Yeah, that's fair. I think, with the advent of AAU ball, kids probably come in as freshmen, a little more prepared, a little more advanced, maybe skill wise than maybe back when you and I were way back in the old days when you and I were going to high school. just my thought, just my theory, I guess. So,
I was never that skilled, so.
no, yeah, you and me both. So, what else you got coming up here this week? I guess. I
got West City take 2. This time it's at West, and I think it's fair to say those are the 2 best teams in the area. City High still undefeated, our only area undefeated in the girls. West has 2 losses. One of them is to City High. It was 65-52 when they played over at City High. So expect a really competitive game over there, and probably be the same for the boys as well.
How's the gym at City High? I haven't been there yet. The new gym.
It's they got it completely right. The steps are kind of steep, so that you can kind of pack a lot of people in.
Okay.
Ton of room. It's not a shallow bowl, but it's steep, and I think that probably helps keep the noise in there too. It's loud. It's a beautiful facility.
That's great. That's great. Long overdue.
Yeah.
Not trying to say anything bad about the old gym there, but it was small.
It was probably a 2A, 3A gym in a 4A school.
Tell us about the new member of the Wamac Conference, Jeff. You wrote that story this week.
The Grinnell Tigers will be coming to the Wamac in 2 years. So the Wamac's going to operate as an 11-team league next year when Beckman and Kokota leave. So Independence is going to go over as kind of a Band-Aid for 1 year to the East Division. And then they've got 2 or 3 models on how they're going to divide the divisions after once Grinnell comes. Grinnell and my guess is they'll probably go east-west, but they may go north-south. If they go east-west, that would mean Independence and Center Point would join the present East teams, which would be Solon, Mount Vernon, West Delaware, and
Kokota.
No, Kokota's gone. So it'd be Solon, Mount Vernon, Marion, CPU, West Delaware, Indy would be in the east, and everybody else would be in the west. The other format would be north-south. The north would be CPU, Marion, West Delaware, Indy, Benton, and Fenton. And then everybody else would be in the south. So in both scenarios, each team kind of has a partner that kind of a natural rival that it sounds like they'll be staying with. They won't be splitting up West Delaware Independence, for example, or Benton and Fenton, Mount Vernon, Solon. Those schools will all sounds like they're going to be together. South Tama and Grinnell would be the travel partners there.
Does this make sense from a Grinnell standpoint, as far as you're concerned?
Well, that's a better question for our friend Nathan Ford, but I think so. I talked to the AD last week, and that school's kind of stagnant as far as enrollment. A lot of schools in that conference are growing, or at least staying even. It's Dental Center, Grimes, Norwalk, Indianola. Those are growing suburban schools. I don't know what's going to happen with Pella Christian. It sounds like they may opt for some smaller waters as well. I guess what I would do if I was in charge of things, I would probably combine the Little Hawkeye and the Raccoon River, and maybe go with an east-west format there, which would be basically all the Des Moines suburban schools, the smaller Des Moines suburban schools.
Heard anything? Obviously Waterloo East is leaving the valley. Is there anything out there as far as things maybe the valley might do right now? Nothing imminent.
I think they're gonna operate with 15 for now. They offered 3 schools a spot. Waverly said no. Clear Creek Urbana said maybe, but not yet. I think North Scott was the other one. They said no. They're happy in the MAC. I think we're probably 5 to 10 years away from Clear Creek being ready to go to the MVC. I think it'll happen eventually, but I think it's going to be a while yet.
And as far as that goes, is Waller, who knows Waller's enrollment? It's it's declined significantly from what it used to be. And
yeah, the problem is, where do they go? Because with the Wamac the way it is now, that probably wouldn't be a bad fit in enrollment. But the closest school would be West Delaware, so that's a little bit of a trip there for your what would be your closest rival. I think they're too big for the River Valley, the Cascades, the Monticello, stuff like that. I'm sure they probably wouldn't be thrilled to have them. Or do they consider the MAC, which is probably a little not quite as competitive as the conference, not as deep. So maybe that's a possibility, and maybe someday we're going to look at some kind of MVC MAC merger
combination.
That's a ways off too. They could go East-West divisions there, and so there are a lot of possibilities. I think right now we're kind of stuck where we are with the bigger schools.
It seems like DeWitt's fit in pretty well in the MAC.
Yeah,
I think so. Right.
Yeah, I think so. The girls are competitive in basketball. They're kind of a tweener. They're a little bit better than some of the Davenport schools and whatnot, but they're quite a bit smaller than the North Scots and the PVs, and they're bigger than Assumption, but Assumption's always seems to be really good at most sports too. So, but yeah, DeWitt's been probably a better fit than I thought maybe it would be. Although I think it would be a really good fit with that new River Valley, with Macocata coming in, with Beckman and Cascade and Comanche and all those schools. I think that would have made a lot of sense if they'd have just kind of held firm and stayed with those schools.
We'll find out. I think Grandview Christian needs to go into the CIML. They've beaten two of the Des Moines public schools this season, and beat them pretty easily, East and North.
Do they have a conference? Are they like in the Western Valley Conference, or is that where they are?
No, I think they play as an independent because they played literally everybody. I think it was Knoxville last night, and they're not playing hardly any 1A schools. Yeah. So.
Are they really good again?
They're really good again, undefeated. It's gonna be tough for anybody to beat them. I think another 7-footer in there to swat shots away. Kid from I'm not sure what country he's from. Tobaloba is his name, Daniel. And then a really good guard named Manny Hammonds, who's an all-state kind of guy. So, yeah. That's just the way it is, I guess. So,
yeah, I don't know what would be a good fit for them. They're so darn small, and they're not great at a whole lot of sports. Where's Des Moines Christian? Are they? Maybe that would be the conference that they would belong in.
They're in.
I think they might be in the conference that I was referring to.
Are they in that league with not with Winterset and those, right?
I think they might be in like with Panorama, Woodward Granger, and ACGC, and some of those schools.
Okay.
I think maybe not. I might be wrong.
I was looking at it's not the Pride of Iowa, is it? Maybe it is.
No, Pride of Iowa is Mount Air and some of those schools.
Martinsdale.
Yeah. Nathan says they're in the West Central Conference.
Oh, there we go. Thank you, Nathan.
Which I think is the conference that I was referring
to. Yeah, Van Meter, ACGC, Panorama, Des Moines Christian. I-35's in that deal. Ogden, Madrid, Pleasantville. So.
Bad place for Grandview Christian.
No, I don't know what other. Honestly, I don't know what other sports they sponsor.
I think most sports, I think they've got football, but I think boys basketball is kind of their bread and butter right now.
Yeah, for sure. And good for them. It's worked out for them. Hopefully everybody read the nice story on Cedar Valley Christian today. We were talking a little bit about that off the air. Looks like going to have a winning team for the first time in 10 years or so. So
You saw them the other night, and they're playing now at Newton Christian Academy instead of at Springville, which I think is a good fit. Just what's kind of your take on the Huskies and their facility over at Inca?
Yeah, they're in the combined program, so and that still gets them up to 56 enrollment with two schools. Nice little gym over there. Small, obviously, but newer. Good, perfect for them. Just had seniors, a lot of seniors, 7 seniors on this team, which is pretty amazing for a program, a school that small. And had a kid named Connor Sukkel who's played at Joliet Catholic Academy as a freshman and sophomore and Joliet West High School last year. That's big time suburban basketball in Chicago. Moved with his family here and decided he wanted to go to CVC. So, I mean, that's, you can't get much more different. Chicago Burbs to 1A basketball in Iowa, but he's really kind of helped bring that team together. He leads them in scoring, rebounding, assists, and things like that. It's a nice story. It's good. They kind of get forgotten, obviously, just because of their size and things like that. But it's good to see them have some success, no question. So
5 years ago, the girls seemed kind of poised to make that step, and I think they topped out at 9 or 10 wins about 3 or 4 years ago, and then it's kind of been back to the skids since. They haven't won a game yet this season, and they rarely score 20 points. So a lot of work to be done with the girls, but who's to say it can't be done? I really think that if you get the right system, the right kids, and the right coach in place, that you can have success anywhere.
Yeah, Grandview Christian. There you go. There's your poster child, right? So at least on the boys' side. So yeah, absolutely. You can win anywhere. Basketball, you only need 5 guys, and one of those 5 guys is really good, or girl is really good. You got yourself a team. So
yeah. So where are you gonna be Friday?
Looks like I think Linn-Mar and Kennedy, boy-girl doubleheader. So that'll be interesting to review the return engagement there. It's at Kennedy. Girls game should be pretty good, right?
Yeah, Linn-Mar's playing really well. They are 9-3 right now, which I would say is probably the biggest surprise in the Metro. They've got some winnable games yet. They got some tough games coming up too. Just kind of look at their schedule. They still have to play City. They still have to play Liberty, Wash, Cedar Falls, Pleasant Valley. But there's some winnable games there, and maybe they can end up with 13, 14 wins, which would be a really nice season for them.
What do you have Friday night?
City West.
That's right.
So, and I imagine that'll be a good boys game as well. So enjoy your weekend, enjoy your game Friday, and we'll do this again next week.